Hello, guys. Someone's got it on the background.
Does somebody have their tab muted?
Hello, guys.
Somebody has their tab not muted.
Hell of a way to start the afternoon or the morning, whichever you prefer. Fellas.
It just keeps going on.
Grant Potter needs new haters. His old ones became friends. Welcome to WorldWideChels stream, motherfucker. Let's go. Woo!
Let's go. Chelsea, 3 wins on the bounce. I thought we wouldn't say that for a long, long time. But it's here, even though Jesters put a very bad tweet out halfway through and should have waited to the end, but it is what it is. We have won. Chelsea 3, Leicester 1. Probably could have been 5 or 6, but we won't get into that too much. We have scored 3 goals, which for Chelsea is like a miracle. Mudryk is no longer 007. He will not be 007. Molina, who's been going on about it all week, no 007. Only happens to Arsenal and United players, no Chelsea players. Let's go. Alfred, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. Hope the same for you guys. And wow, what a game! I didn't know what to think. I mean, at just different stages of the game. We look really good throughout the entire game, but at the same time, they had a lot of chances as well. We were very unlucky. They were very unlucky with some chances. It was just ridiculous. But sometimes in football, that's just the way it goes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. You gotta just do your thing and hope things go your way. And in the end, I think we deserved our win anyway. And just great times. It's great to see 3 wins in a row, and let's go. The only thing that is a little bit sad, that takes a bit of the joy away, is that 2 Premier League wins in a row now, and we still haven't moved from 10th. So, but hopefully we can keep this going and slowly move back up the table into those European places. And dare I say, maybe just happen to sneak in a top 4 by the end of the season. If, of course, we don't win the Champions League, then it won't matter. Yeah.
I'll let everybody else go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny
Positivity,
Jr.
bring it in.
No, we got JMJ. What do we got?
I'm really happy. I feel like we're playing a lot more attacking fluid football. Like the passes is a lot better. It's a lot more fluid. Like we're playing more enjoyable football to watch. Like I haven't seen this for a while now from all the managers as well. So it's a lot more enjoyable to watch the games on television and on streams and stuff. So I'm happy. We got the win. We are like closing in on the places above us. Hope we still have Everton and Villa left in March, and hopefully you can get to take 6 out of 6 points from that. This month.
Jared, go ahead, buddy.
First of all, yeah, Shrinath, that's not a good comment to make. Sorry, dude, you can't say that.
Oh, shit.
I guess Alfred just got it, but that's all right.
Oh, shut up, Jared. We're white, and I'm not offended. Keep it moving. Let's go.
I just saw it.
I don't get offended by shit like that.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I think it's funny.
It is funny. By the way, we're crackers. Guess what? Get over it. Let's go.
That's it.
Yeah. Better than last time, but I'm still not impressed. So, yeah, until we actually put 90-minute performance in where we can dominate teams below us, which we didn't. There was that game for a long time was hanging in the balance. And if things had gone a different way, we could be looking at a draw there. So
look, that's true. It's true. They did have a lot of chances. An absolutely shocking. Who was it after Kepa? He slapped the ball away, and then there was just an absolutely shocking miss.
It was Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall.
Oh, I couldn't believe that. We got away with that one big time.
No doubt. I have not seen something to impress me yet. It's getting there. we're progressing. We're going slowly, but it's not like we went from crap to awesome. We're climbing the ladder, and we're
Jared,
going rung
if
by rung.
ands and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Well, yeah,
and
but
I'd still be a
Jared,
sophomore
that's just how
at
it
the
works.
University of
Crap
Maine.
towards them.
Yeah, I mean, give me a fucking break, Jared. This is football. Guess what?
What would
It's
you want me to
high
break?
octane and chances happen. That is the breaks, as your recently departed prime minister used to say. Them's the breaks, dog. That's football, and chances are going to be had by both teams. And for you to say that Leicester almost had a chance and we almost tied, that is you being so entirely disingenuous and also simultaneously full of fucking shit. Full of shit.
Well, that might be, but I have blue eyes, so I can't be that full of shit.
Mind if I make them brown?
Me
Jared?
too.
So
I will very easily take a dump right on your head. Let's keep it moving.
look, you still cannot be impressed by that performance. There was a lot of things that were not good, a lot of things we need to work on, and we just went through a run of crap. At least put a run together of really good or great performances before you say, hey, we're back. Hey, we're back.
Okej,
This is
ett
a
opptatt,
run.
men greit. Ja, godt komme.
This is a run, and we're building. Dog, we went from the lowest of the low to 3 wins in a row. This is how it starts. Why are you, at 67 years old, so damn impatient, while everyone else seems to be patient? Why are you the one that's
I'm
so
not.
impatient?
I'm actually the epitome of patience. That's why I said it was a good win. It was nothing spectacular. We're getting better. We're progressing, but I'm not getting excited yet because we're not really playing the top tier clubs. You know?
Do you know what you sound like? You sound like the Gen Z TikTok generation. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I can't watch a baseball game.
Well, I've
NBA,
never
forget
seen
it.
a
I'll watch the
TikTok, so I
highlights
have
on
no idea
Twitter.
what the hell you're
I'm not
talking about.
impressed. This dude, you sound 19 years old. Give
You
me a
just
break.
said exactly what I said, other than I'm not impressed yet. You
was
said we're
being
progressing slowly.
facetious.
We're going on a journey. It's exactly what I said. But I'm not going to be impressed yet until I see us just put a whooping on somebody. That's it.
Okay, Matty Ball. Take me to church, homeboy. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the result and liked the performance. I don't think there was a lot wrong with that, considering where we have been. I think, as we've all kind of said in different ways, you don't just go from absolute pants to playing like prime Barcelona, but we're going in the step of the right direction. I thought we created a hell of a lot more than what we have, and reasonably took more of the chances than we normally do. We didn't. It wasn't like we were missing countless number of big chances. I think the ones we did miss, they weren't glaring chances that we'd all look and go, "Oh my god, how the hell has he missed that?" They were a bit more difficult chances, which you could go, "Hey, maybe could have done a bit better," but I'm not going to go absolutely ape shit for it. There were some mistakes. I think, despite Kovacic having a very good goal at the end, I thought he was a bit poor in the midfield at times, and Enzo was actually doing really well to cover him up. There were some mistakes a little bit in the defence. I think Felix, for the goal himself, that is all on him. Messing about in that area of the pitch, he will learn because he's young, but that is not acceptable, and he can't do that again at Chelsea Football Club. And that's me putting it because he is at high standards and he needs to stay at them high standards. But I was happy with generally as much a good number of the performance. I can't complain. Obviously, we've got Everton next, and I think that's another game where we can put in a decent enough performance, build the momentum, keep going, and then in April we have got big games where we really do need to sharp, and we do need to be in that prime. And hopefully, if we can build the confidence, like we look a lot more confident today. That's what I like. The fact that lack of confidence we've been playing with for months has just seemed to have disappeared for the moment. I'm not saying it won't come back because it can easily come back. But now everyone's playing a lot more better, generally, and I'm impressed with it so far. to an extent. I think there is
So,
improvements to be made,
yeah.
but I'm happy enough
Oh, sorry.
as it is.
So, Matt, what you had highlighted before, and
No,
I
I'm done.
agree with everything you said. The look, João Felix, I consider João Felix on paper to be the best player we have, but that is also a reprehensible mistake, and you have to call a spade because in life, if you are not fair, then you will not be judged fairly yourself, and you have to be fair about this and say that João Felix, that can never happen again. First off, I don't know why you're dropping so deep that you're in our own right at the top of the D of the 18. I don't know why you're there. But number two, do not lose the ball there because that is a totally avoidable mistake. And that can never happen, especially when we were rolling. I mean, we were rolling. We're doing well. And then that really piled on the pressure. And it was a justifiable yank at halftime to be subbed that way. Alfred, who stood out for you?
Man, I think Kepa saved us quite a few times, I have to say. Mudryk, I was glad to see him put in a very nice, very good performance and shut people up. He got an assist, which is nice. I feel so sorry for him that he finished up that goal, and it didn't count. That sucks. So he's just gonna have to wait that little bit more, I guess, for his moment. But other than that, I thought he looked good, which is the minimum you want to see, especially when A, people are talking so much crap about him, and B, he costs so much money. So nice to see, and I'm sure that more will come from him as well.
Alfred, I think I speak for everybody when I say there's a really good player in there, and not only a really good player, but a terrifying player for anybody marking him.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be fucking scary, mate. When it starts to click for him, I can guarantee that.
Yeah, Jared, look, I'll open up the panel with this discussion because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this is more about praise of the players that we're playing today. Look, man, we're better without Mason Mount, and today just continued to prove it. Mason Mount is not an asset; he's a distraction. And when you have guys like Ruben Loftus-Cheek today, for example, I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek was outstanding today. I thought defensively he was good; he made some tackles. Offensively, they couldn't touch him because he's so powerful. So talk to me, Jared. Talk to me about it's addition by subtraction with Mason Mount.
Well, the person who benefits the most from not having Mason Mount on the pitch is Kai Havertz.
100%. Thank
Yes,
you, Jared.
agreed.
Yes.
Again, you can pull up the old podcast and you can hear me say Mason Mount and Kai Havertz cannot play together. They take up the same positions. They're always going to be on top of one another. They don't provide the spacing. They're the same player. Kai Havertz just does what Mason Mount does on a higher level.
I remember that podcast. Really good. You guys should go and check them out on Spotify.
Yeah, and so Kai to me finally looks like he's free. He's able to take up positions in space, which is where he's the best. You get that guy in space, he can make things happen. He played all over. I think he played center, right, and left today, if I'm not mistaken. So for me, he was very impressive. Enzo always has a beautiful pass in him. I wish he would be a little bit more conservative when there's pressures on and we're trying to retain the ball. Maybe be a little bit more conservative to try to maintain possession from time to time. But that'll come.
Jared, would you say that was his best game for Chelsea, Enzo?
I don't think he's had a poor game for Chelsea yet.
No, but I mean today. I mean the assist. I mean remember the assist was that's schoolyard shit. That's improv.
Probably the nastiest assist he's had for us, but he's probably had more of a complete game before. But I've never seen Enzo have a really bad game in a Chelsea shirt. He's not an issue on this team. Ben Chilwell, hello. Where is all the Ben Chilwell sucks? Where are those people at? I'm gonna find some of them because Ben Chilwell is the reason we are looking so good in the back three because Reece James is not back fit. And even though he's put some good balls in, Ben Chilwell has been the most attacking of our fullbacks as of late, or wing backs. And he's been brilliant. Was it 2 assists and a goal?
Yeah.
In his last 3 games?
Oh, wow.
I know. I will take in volleys there as well. Like, it was a clean volley. I would say it wasn't really the best ball from Koulibaly, but it ended at Chilwell's feet from when Chilwell was actually on the opposite side of where he usually plays, and just hammered in on near post. Well taken finish from him.
Yeah.
And he's a wing back or a left back, and he strikes the ball that cleanly.
Yeah, and
really
fair
good.
play from Koulibaly for the assist. I mean, left-footed pass. We had a winger named I think his name was Callum Hudson-Odoi, who couldn't make that pass, and that's a center back that just did it. Sorry, you know I had to go in. It's just the way I am.
All right, hey, the man that is very close to Starbucks, Srinath, what's up, baby? Tell me something delicious.
First things first, Chile. The first goal, Chile cross, wicket. And the second goal from Kai Havertz, that's what we paid him the 80 mil for. Or 87 mil, whatever. And Misha and Kova, crack a goal!
Yeah! Let's go, Jared.
He loves that word, doesn't he? Yeah.
That was mayonnaise the cracker.
You know, I didn't realize until you pulled that one off. I was like, this is PG-13, Jared, not 18 plus.
No. When I'm hosting, it's rated R, baby. You can say all the bad words. Don't tell your mama.
And Felix, sorry, I wasn't done. Sorry, I was just trying to pull Jared
you're
in
still
middle.
going. You're still going.
Yeah, I still had to bring out the point which Matt brought earlier, which is I didn't expect that from Felix on a defensive third, where you're not trying to juggle the ball. You should just clear it off when there are like 3 people in front of you who are your opponents. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, but
apart from that,
Srinath was more along the lines of he actually had passing options. Like, there were 2 people open. It's a 5-yard pass. Don't do that shit. Alfred, where do we go from here? Because there's been so much negativity within this fan base, amongst even people in this stream, I might add. And it feels as though, despite the fact that, we didn't play amazing, I'm not going to sit here and say this was prime Real Madrid second leg. But at the same time, I do feel as though the more that we win, the more that we score, the more that we create opportunities by virtue of pattern play, it feels as though we are definitely headed in the right direction. And again, I have to re-emphasize Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I thought today really set the tempo. So go ahead, Alfred. What do you think, man?
Yeah, look, as even Matt said, I think earlier in the stream, it's going to take time to get to those levels where we're going to be truly happy about everything. That sort of thing doesn't happen overnight. Now, it's of course it's not nice to see so many situations in games where we look really, really under pressure, and just we've seen it a lot in the last few seasons, and I think it's something that we've just been dying to change, is just to be able to dominate, just dominate, especially be able to keep our heads at the end of games and finish off games nicely. But that's going to come. Most importantly, I feel like personally that my biggest concern has been addressed, which was that we've seen for so many of Graham Potter's games before this little run, it just felt like these lads just didn't want to play for him. It just seemed like they had absolutely no interest in playing for this man. And now I honestly feel like it's the complete opposite, because again, although it's not perfect, they're really giving it their all in all these games, and you can see what we're trying to do. We look fantastic, going forward for most a lot of the time now, which we couldn't say in recent times. I honestly believe we actually look scary, and we're only going to get scarier.
So one of the things is like if you have a good friend, right, and that friend is going through a hard time, if you like him and you respect him, you're going to be the one that picks him up, gives him confidence, maybe introduces him to a girl, something like that, right? And I feel as though everybody noticed, and Sindra, I'll be going to you with this question. Everybody noticed with Graham Potter that he was getting shit on. It wasn't just the fans, it was opposing fans, it was pundits, it was Jesus Christ himself saying, Potter, I don't know about that guy. I don't know about Potter. But instead of burying him, they stuck by him. And on top of that, with that loyalty that they have shown him, I saw today Graham Potter was on it. Graham Potter was on it today, guys. It was his subs. It was his passion. He was yelling. He was in their ear. He was directing. And Sindra, I do feel as though that is very important because optics do matter, and how you show yourself on the sideline absolutely matters. I mean, it absolutely matters. But because they're buying in and because they had his back, he is going to in turn reciprocate with more passion.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like from the games we saw earlier under Potter, he wasn't really that passionate. He was, I think, really quiet and just sat there and watched the game. He wasn't like energetic, like I would say, or like shouting like Thomas Tuchel was, which was, I think, was a real difference from those two characteristics. Where Tuchel was like always on it, shouting and commanding and demanding from the players. But when Potter came in, he just changed the whole atmosphere up for the players. Like he wasn't shouting, he wasn't commanding and demanding as much from the players from the sidelines during the games. He even said himself, I think, earlier in the season, like he isn't the type of guy who shouts at the players, or at least angrily or with heat. He doesn't shout at them that way, and therefore, because of the way he is a coach, and therefore, I think now that he has gotten some passion, actually starting to do that, I think that is also rubbing off the players, and therefore they're also giving him more. They're performing better under him, and it's looking good, and I'm happy about that as well.
Matt, you a little less concerned? What are we thinking, man?
I'm not concerned at the moment. I've always said that I didn't really think getting rid of Potter was the right idea. He's now seems so far the last couple of games seems to get us at least steady, and let's see what he can do for the rest of the season. I don't really think it makes any sense to sack him now. You've got the Champions League, which you may win on a bit of if you get lucky, but apart from that, top four is a pipe dream. Even though it's closer, it's still a pipe dream. But in the way of changing a manager is not really going to get us to top four. So really, I'd give him to the end of the season. See how he does in pre-season. If it starts next season, as I said, if I had to start next season, we're playing the same way, then it's the kind of thing. Right, we've given you the chance, but it's time to go.
Sure,
that is realistic. That is realistically a club giving him a chance, not just throwing a manager out and not giving him proper time and with the players. But yeah, I'm happy to see how this run goes, and if we can go on a run, obviously, as I said, we've got Everton next. It's an easy-ish game. Obviously, it's been a bit of a bogey team for us recently, but hopefully we can overturn that. And if we can overturn that and then go into April, which is a lot of tough games, then we can hopefully get a result. And before we move on, I just want to say we've got 67 people tuned in, but only 47 likes. Please smash the like button, get us to 67 likes, get us to 100 likes by the end of the stream, because I know people will tune in and tune out. So we will get to 100 likes by the end of the stream.
Yeah, if you guys don't like the stream, you don't like Enzo Fernandez. You don't like Enzo if you're not liking the stream. That's on you guys. Hey, when you reach those pearly gates, you're going to have to answer for these sins. I'm sorry. It's the way it is, man. So Srinath, talk to me about the defense, because the goal that they scored, absolutely not on the defense. Koulibaly, Fofana, whom I adore and can do no wrong. Kukra, these guys, that goal was not on our defense. Talk to me about how our defense has been playing, because to me, when I look at that, I'm like less and less stressed when teams start pressing us, when teams start countering us, because Koulibaly, Fofana, Cucurella, Badiashile, they have really stepped up in Thiago's absence.
So I kind of personally felt Coco has some way to go because there were at times where he had this loose ball, he was giving it up to the opponent or he was missing on the track, but he recovered, and that is a good sign of a centre back, even if it is a left centre back. And regarding Badashile is one of the key folks whom we have, and Wesley Fofana. Today, people were jeering him, which is a good sign that he's the great defender they missed. I want to lay it off over there, and I just wanted to add one point about Graham Potter, if I may.
Sure.
So this is how it goes. Potter found his wand, cast a spell with his wand, and the fans loved it. That's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't make a ring out of it.
Jared, how are we feeling? Do you feel like the most wrong man in the room, or are you still galvanized in your idiocy?
Well, I happen to be the only correct person here, but that's okay. You can say what you want. I thought we actually defended quite frenetically today. I didn't think it was as good as the last game we played, to be honest. The performances were still good, but I thought that it wasn't as good as against Dortmund at all. I think we got a little over aggressive at sometimes, and we let them run through us because we went into challenges we shouldn't have, or multiple people went into challenges they shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. We also didn't hold on to the ball when we should have. Certain times, people made stupid bonehead plays. Again, stuff you're going to see in the game, but you do that against the better teams, and you're going to end up giving up more than one goal.
Yeah, hey, so, Jared, let me just ask this question: aren't you as irritated as I am when we give away the ball frivolously? When on paper we're so good at keeping the ball, and like today, I'm with you, dude. I was like, "Fuck, again, we lost it." Yeah. Like when we should be controlling because we have the players that are possession oriented. These are not counter-attacking players specifically. Like, sure, they can counter, but we have passers. And like the fact that we couldn't keep it until maybe the last 15 minutes, I was actually kind of irritated with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I was too. We keep giving the other team chances to get back into the game,
which we don't have to. We shouldn't.
No, we're not stepping on the necks. That's why I can't be so impressed as everybody else, because we had a chance to put them away, step on their necks. We let them up and let them come back at us. You can't do that against the better teams. That's why we're sitting where we're sitting, because we don't finish. I mean, I guess if you want to take Mortal Kombat, finish them. We don't.
So
we need a fatality. We need a fatality, big time.
Jared, I don't think it's us saying that we played so great. I think it's us liking the fact that the boys are getting confidence. I really think it's that. Sindra, I mean, do you think that I think that that's actually the best first step, because I think form and style and joie de vivre will come, but I think we had to get the wins first.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like the wins give the boys the morale, and like it inspires them to keep on going, to work harder, and then perform better in games. That's what I think, and I feel from when I played sports as well. And yeah, it's a good thing that we just now start winning games, and we are performing, or at least scoring goals again. Like, it's good to see that we actually put 3 goals away in this game. Like, now 6 goals in our last 3 games. Let's hope we can continue scoring, and let's hope our attack can continue performing to the way that it's been doing these past few games. And I believe that if we keep winning these games, we can climb the table. Of course we will, because we get the points, but I think we will get the morale and the boost from it, and Potter will have more time to implement his tactics and at least soon slowly integrate his style of play. But the most important thing before he does that is to get the results and at least get the victories, so he can keep his job.
Yeah, so now if you had a question for Jared, go ahead, man.
So today we had the back three and the back four. Which do you feel is the most stable one?
Both.
Well, I think they both have their there's reasons you play a back three and there's reasons you play back four. We still do not have a defensive midfielder as you would a killer defensive midfielder, right? Somebody that's going to be able to do it. What Casemiro does, what Chouamani does. You can keep naming them. We don't have that guy. So you do it by a committee. Well, if that committee doesn't work properly together, you invite more pressure onto yourself. So right now the three works for us better. Also, what it does also give us is width.
Mm-hmm.
In attack, that's the biggest thing we've been missing is the width on the pitch in attack. It's so if you're too central in your attack, well, it's easy to pack a lot of players and just stifle everything. If you're wide and you have players that they have to contend with wide on the pitch, well, then there's gaps to play balls through. There's windows to play balls through. There's windows to run through. And so we haven't had that because if you play with inverted wingers, there's no width because they're always cutting inside. So it's easy to defend. If you've got the overlap with the wing backs now, then that somebody has to come up and take those positions up in defense or with the abilities of Reece James and Chilwell. I'm going to just stick with the primaries. You're going to give up a lot of goals because they're going to put in a good ball and they'll put enough of them in that they'll start going in. So right now
Josh,
the three suits us the best.
Oh, yeah. What up, Josh?
What's up, fellas?
How we
What's
doing,
going on,
man?
my guy?
Yeah, man, just taking the win for what it is. Just take a win, take 3 points, and move on. I guess as they say.
I don't feel like we're being overly hyperbolic here, Josh, but I do feel as though it was as primitive as this sounds. We had to fucking win.
Yeah, I'd say like 5/6 of this group is being pretty overly ecstatic about this performance today.
Fair enough.
No, listen. If that's how you want to play football, like I don't think this guy has any interest in playing this kind of football. I think we're playing this way at a pure throw something against the wall, see if it sticks kind of mentality. Like if you ask me, do I think next season are we going to play a three at the back? I don't think Potter has any interest in playing three at the back. Not from all the guys that we bought in January.
Like Malo Gusto.
Yeah, I mean, these guys. He's a fullback. Like I don't like. He's versatile, I guess, to play like the way we play. I mean, if you play with wing backs, I guess he can get forward, so that he can do that part. But I don't know. As soon as we score, the mentality shifts instantly, and I hate that. And we played that whole 45 minutes. Zhao actually, I think, was subbed from an injury sub. From what I read, he came up he almost got his leg snapped, so understandable.
You sure about that? Because we were
I'm not
thinking
positive about it.
I do.
He's got a red cross. He's got a red cross next to his name. If you look at his sub, it's an injury sub. But like the sub that he brings on is Gallagher, which is like, oh fuck. Now instead of at the 60th minute shutting up shop, we're doing it at 45 minutes, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, I know. Fortunately for us, we have some world-class players in this team who do have some ability, which saves you. But like, we're not pressing the ball. We're not. As soon as Leicester has it, it's like let's cozy back in, let them have it, until they make it. And we're lucky that they're terrible and they turn the ball over. But they easily could have scored 3 or 4 goals today, and that's not like from hitting banger shots. That's like from inside the box, like kind of opportunities, free kicks from the D. Like these are, you play a good team. I'm just telling you right now, play City like that, play Liverpool like that, play a good team, play Arsenal like that. You're gonna get fucking pumped if you score a goal. Yeah, Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool just be United 7-0. I don't give a shit that they lost to Bournemouth. Like it, I don't care. They're not a good. They're not a good team. But if you play like that against them,
Josh, what happened when we lost 1-0 to Southampton and everyone goes ballistic, but Liverpool lose to Bournemouth, who are currently bottom of the league and arguably the worst team,
but
in terms of actual players, and then suddenly everyone's fine with that.
And also, like they beat United 7-0, but that's not the way to continue with such a great performance from last weekend to beat their, I would say, biggest rivals or second biggest rivals 7-0, and then lose the bottom of the league team, which they beat 9-0 earlier this season.
That's the beauty of the Premier League, right? Any team can beat any team in Premier League, and through the history we have seen that happen. Like Liverpool thrashing United last week and just coming over and losing to Bournemouth this week, like 1-0.
I think you guys are missing my point completely, but I don't think Liverpool are a good team, but they have the kind of ability that if you sit back and allow them to just have the ball with no pressing, no nothing, you're gonna get pumped. You're gonna get fucking pumped. And listen, it's fine now. I'll take the 3 points. Listen, I'm glad we won the game. I don't want to lose games, but if you play that kind of football against a good team, you're gonna get fucking pumped. And it's just gonna if we don't stay with the ability, the talent that we have in this team to not stay on the front foot when you've got a team basically dead to rights. And Leicester are atrocious. Let's not sit here and act like this is like even a decent team.
I totally agree to that.
It's a deadly way to play football. You're playing with fire in a big way. But it is what it is. I don't even think this is the way. I don't even think this is the way that this guy wants to play football. So I don't even really care what we're doing right now. I would almost guess for certain that we start next season in a 4-at-the-back system. Regardless of how this year turns out. I don't think this guy's any interest in playing this way.
I didn't agree with the conservative approach after we scored the second goal either. I was like, wait a minute, we're letting them have the ball? Like, again, Jared, you think that I'm like kissing Potter's ass. Buddy, I watched all 90 minutes. And there was a 10-minute stretch where Leicester had the ball and they were imposing. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself,
well, it's not even letting
the ball. Why are we not getting the
it's
ball?
Not even let them. Yeah, it's not even let them have it. It's let them have it and not press the ball. Like you can let them have it and press the ball and try to turn them over, but if you're going to let them just have it and not press, like I don't know what you want anybody to do. Like, let's just let them get as deep as they possibly can, and they'll either turn it over, take a shot, get a goal. We'll get a goal kick out of it or something. But I mean, that's a dangerous way to play football, man. And we've gotten away with it the last couple of weeks as we've played some really horrendous teams. And in all 3 of our wins, the other team had multiple opportunities to equalize that game.
Hey,
I'm not putting the cart before the horse. It's nice to get a win. It's nice. It feels good to have 3 points. But I mean, to be excited about the football is just, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming at. Is that whenever we have Thiago Silva, we have the kind of leader who riles up the team, who commands the defense, who sniffs a threat which is coming on his way. And we had that in John Terry. And we had someone before that. But this team is having Koulibaly, who is trying to sniff out the threats. He's getting like 6 out of 10, but I'm pretty sure people would disagree with me. But we don't have that kind of a leader who riles up the team and who goes on, commands the defense. We had Rudiger, we have Silva right now, but apart from them, we don't have a person who could do that, commanding the defenses. And I agree with you when I say that if we have a lethal attacking team against us, giving this much of possession would hurt us dearly.
Yeah, Matt, you wanted to interject there for a second. I think you had a good point.
Oh, did I? I don't know what point I had, but there you go.
That's a pointy point.
No, I think that there is a double standard when it comes to Chelsea. But I think Josh, and I agree with Josh on this point, dude. And that is that I think Liverpool sucks. I think Liverpool is a drastically worse team than Chelsea, Newcastle, Tottenham, all these teams that should be fighting for top four. Liverpool, they have so much internal strife, and they're so tired of Klopp, man. You could just see it. They don't believe in Darwin Núñez. Mo Salah is regretting the contract he signed, even though he's making $400K a week. Like that team doesn't like each other anymore, man. VVD's a shell. But at the same time, I do think that Chelsea gets more stick, but I think that's part of the problem, but it's also a solution, and that is that we have a lot better players.
Did Fofana get substituted because of an injury?
No, I don't think
that's
so.
what they're showing is on SofaScore. Fofana.
No, I think
I didn't see him get in any tackle to get injured.
Well, I'm just wondering why Benicio came on.
There weren't any. I think that was probably just a rest kind of thing. But I didn't see any trainers with him or anything like that. Like he just walked. He had to walk the long way off the pitch because he went off the other side. But I don't think he. I didn't see him get any.
Matt's the right guy to ask this. What did you see, Matt?
I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. So.
Yeah.
Wow, you're killing me, Small.
So, do you guys think the tackle on João Felix early in the game should have been a red card?
Red, absolutely.
Yeah, that's an
red card.
absolutely red card by the definition.
I don't understand how. I don't really understand how that or the Kai Havertz thing was just not.
Yeah, right.
both
I mean,
red
Kai
cards.
literally got kicked. I mean, cleated in the chest. Like there's no point.
And as on Marty, he did that on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
He hit so hard, he's got instant bruising on his chest.
Yeah, you can see the marks.
Did you see him pull up his shirt? Did you see?
Yeah.
Hey guys, look at this fucking massacre. Like
So did Ricardo, by the way, because if you watch the replay, like he reaches for the ball, he's nowhere near it. The ball's on the complete other side of Felix, and he actually takes an extra lunge at the ankle, which is so dirty.
The amount,
I have no idea how that. Not even a yellow card.
One at a time.
I couldn't believe the amount of just horrible follow throughs that were going through in Leicester players. It wasn't. You can understand one or two having a follow through because sometimes it happens when you tackle, but the amount of times Leicester players were just following through with their legs like that, and I was just like, you're gonna break at some point. You're gonna really break someone's leg.
Yeah, the referee was utterly atrocious. He
Yeah.
lost all semblance of control in the game.
Sure.
I don't care if it's 3 minutes on the clock. You make that tackle that was made on Felix, you got to go. That is an ankle breaker by definition.
Where the hell's VAR?
I know he's down for 5 minutes on the ground, and VAR doesn't even like take a glance at it. Like, holy shit! I mean, I don't know, man. It was a horrendous shot. The problem to me with Mariner today is like when you set the tone like that, when you don't make that call early, and then I think on our first foul, I don't know who it was, but he gave him a yellow. It's like, well, what are you doing? You gave him a yellow for I think it wasn't even like
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and he didn't even touch the guy really. I think he was like just got inside of his body, and they gave him a yellow. And I'm like, what do you like? You've lost the ability to set the tone through officiating because you didn't give a guy a yellow for a horror challenge, and not even a foul. I mean, not even like anything. It's absolutely embarrassing. It was a bad day at the office for
Wesley Fofana got the first yellow card.
Yes,
and then it was Cucurella, but still, like the Leicester should have maybe had like 3 red cards because you're talking about that Ricardo Pereira thing. Do you guys also remember the thing he did on Enzo in our box where like
he got a yellow for that, right?
Yeah, he got the yellow for that.
That should have been his second yellow.
Yeah, that should have been the second yellow, and they got a second yellow in the 87th minute, but that should have been the third one if the ref actually could officiate and give cards properly.
Well, to be honest with you, he should have. I don't know if he got booked for this, but he should have seen yellow for pulling down Ruben when Ruben went right around him.
That was his first.
Did he get carded for that?
Josh, that is the definition of a yellow card. It's when you stop a guy that beats you. Look, guys, it's this simple.
Ruben was beaten every single time.
If you get beat and you stop the guy from allowing you to move forward after you've been beat, that is a fucking yellow. That is, basketball calls it a clear path. It's a clear path. That is a yellow every time, Josh. Every time.
I'll just say because Matt's here. I love watching Ruben play football, man. He's
Oh,
so
he
much
was
fun to
so
watch.
good. He was so
Like,
good, Josh. knew
I
you
don't
were
get
gonna
what
bring this
I
up.
don't get why people say we should sell him. Like, if he's
We're
happy
not.
at Chelsea, if he's happy at Chelsea to be a rotational player, and when he comes in, I would say, like 9 out of 10 games, he is not the worst
Really
player on the
solid.
pitch,
Really
but he's
solid.
not. He's a really solid player, and he's versatile. He's played CDM, he's played center back, he has played wing back, he's played center mid. He's even played striker in the cup games, in one of the cup games. So
Yeah.
why?
Syndrome.
He's a perfect,
Did he
he's a
get-
perfect squad player.
If you ask him, he'll play in goal.
Yeah, he would. He would.
Did
Okay,
he
this,
get-
this
did he
enough
get
of
man
this.
the match?
This is now
Hold
goofy.
on. Did he get man of the match?
No, it should have gone to Koba, I think, right? Koba. I would
I
imagine.
thought he should have
Koba.
gone to Kai, but
I would
Kai, yeah, Kai.
Who was the manager?
Yeah, Kai
Koba.
was. Kai was very, very good today in all phases. He was really good.
Carlito, you should get that video from Sadiq where he'd say, "Never give up to Ruben." You know?
Oh yeah. That's on the other stream. Jared,
Okay.
Jared, you want to eloquently express your displeasure?
well, again, we all know that we had to sell Academy product this summer to make up for a shortfall in profit. Okay, so whoever that's going to be is you're going to have to find a suitable buyer, and the
Mason
player's
Mount.
going to have to agree to go.
Mason Mount,
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, Trevor Chalobah. There's your three.
Oh,
right?
Okay,
Not
but
Chalobah. Not
if
Chalobah.
somebody comes in and puts the right amount of paper on the table for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's going.
No, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm vetoing it like Joe Biden. I'm vetoing.
Well, you
it.
can't.
No,
I mean, Carlito,
You don't work for
Actually-
Chelsea.
No, I actually agree with what Jester said. If the price comes up, the right price, then yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but
As I said
Yeah.
yesterday,
AC Milan
everybody
wants
has
it,
their
they
price.
better pay-
But
they better
personally,
pay 40
I'd rather get rid of the other three first before Ruben.
Yeah, but
I
AC
don't
Milan wants
disagree
them.
with you. I
Purely,
don't disagree with you.
purely because Mount isn't going to sign a contract. Conor Gallagher has no technical ability, and
he's
Trevor
awesome.
Chalobah, we have too many centre backs as it is, especially if we're going to a back four,
Okay.
and it's someone we can sell for a probably decent amount of money.
That's racist.
As rude as it is about Ruben, I don't think you're going to get a decent amount of money for Ruben.
The other thing, Matt, is that I do believe Chelsea has every intention of bringing Levi Colwill back. That's another reason why I would reinforce you saying sell Trevor Chalobah, which I'm all for, because I don't think Trevor Chalobah's good.
He's okay.
He's
Alfred
okay.
wants
He's,
to
Chelsea
talk.
football
Alfred
club,
wants to
okay,
talk.
is not good
he's
enough.
okay, but when you want to win a Premier League title, I don't think he's the player you need.
Alfred wants to talk.
so if we have four, this is
Shut
the
up,
thing.
shut up, shut up,
We
shut
have
up, shut up,
sorry.
shut up. Let Alfred wants to say something. Go ahead, Alfred.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to say that I think he's a good player to have around. You know, maybe not in starting lineups all the time, but I think he's a player that offers a lot of commitment, and we have seen him put in some very good performances at times. You know,
Oh, yeah,
I'd actually be very sad to see him go.
I think all of us can say that we don't want him in our starting lineups all the time. It's that versatile player that if you do get injuries, like we always do, he's there to cover. He can cover at wing back. He can cover in midfield. He can cover in defence. And everyone does need that kind of versatile player. Now, I'd rather that be Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who is happy to play for Chelsea, happy to play a squad role, than someone like Mason Mount who's going to kick off, or someone else that you do need that rotation player. And I think Ruben can be that. I think with the other players as well, you're realistically going to get more money for him. You're not going to get more than 20, 25 million for Ruben, but Gallagher, you saw people were bidding 35, 40 million in January, so that could still be the same in the summer. I think you can get a fair amount for Chalobah. If Mark Guay is going for 25 million and hadn't played a Premier League game for Chelsea, I think Chalobah can go for a fair amount, considering he hasn't played bad when he has been here. And then Mason Mount, we already know there's a rumoured 50, 60 million pound price tag. So it makes sense to sell your higher assets than Ruben.
So this is where I'm also coming at, saying that Ruben has been a squad player, but we have people who are valued more. Sell them off first, get more cash influx, settle the team, and we are playing four fronts. We have Carling Cup, we have hopefully I would say Europa League, being a pessimist, but I would hope for a Champions League as well. And we have the FA Cup and we have the league. So we would need players like Ruben who could play multiple positions. I would rather sell Trevor than Ruben. Yeah.
Get out.
And one thing I will say, you've had all the Callum Hudson-Odois, the Pulisics, the other players, etc., that they play at wing back and they kick up a fuss because it's not their position, they can't play it, and all these people go, oh, but it's not their position, they're not meant to play well. Well, Ruben does it fine. Ruben just he is. If we're talking about someone that is proper Chelsea that does want to support the club, Ruben is that type, is more that guy than anyone else, because he'll brush his shoulders and go, yep, you play me wherever you want, I'll play.
That's mainly because of the attitude, actually.
Best. All right, sometimes he's not always the best, but that is because his ceiling, unfortunately his ceiling, because of his injuries before, has gone down slightly. But he will come on and do his absolute best for the club, and he knows that he can't play every single game. And he's happy with that, because he would rather do that for the club and play for the club than doing anything else. No, I'd rather someone that's committed to the club and happy to play a squad rotation role than people who are just going to kick off because they're not in their right position.
Yeah, that's my point as well, Matt, is that players like Pulisic and ZH and all, they make a fuss because they have this, I don't know, oversized image that they are star players and they are the attacking people, like, the attacking midfielder or the generational talent. It is, Jared, I'm not saying they are, I'm saying they have an image where if they are played off the position or if they're, benched or if they are not in the starting lineup, they started making a noise. They started making a fuss about it. Whereas there are players, even when they are benched, they are ready to provide support to the squad and contribute to the team. And I feel that Ruben Loftus is one of those players.
You know why Ruben Loftus-Cheek is fine to take whatever role? It's because he knows if he goes to another club, he's going to have to take a pay cut. So let's be real. He doesn't want to leave Chelsea because he doesn't want to take a pay cut. That's it. Footballers nowadays care about footballers. They don't care about the club. They care about their bank accounts and how they're going to be able to live their life and provide for their families. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he wants to continue to make the same salary he's on now. And if he goes to Italy, he ain't making it. Okay?
I totally agree on that, Jared. But what I'm asking is, let's say Pulisic goes, he won't get the same salary he's getting from Chelsea. I can bet on that. He must take a little pay cut.
I don't think his contract was going to be anywhere near as much as he is now.
Exactly.
Yes, all footballers, PD Blues, all footballers nowadays are business. They're a business unto themselves. That's why they negotiate image rights and everything else. This is not when you were a kid and everybody loved the club and wanted to play for just the club and nobody else. Those days are gone.
Yeah, that's also why Mount has also hired image people to help him with his out of football stuff as well. He's hired the same stuff that will work with Beckham and other big names, and because he doesn't he doesn't just care about football. He also care about his image of football, because
all footballers do.
Yeah, all footballers do. That's a great.
It's a business.
But how much is the business affecting their football? That's my question. When you're saying that it's a business, they should show the same business in their talent on the field. But if they don't show, I would rather make you as a squad player rather than a top talent.
Well, that's what a lot of people were saying about Rashford. I think it was last season or the last couple of seasons. He wasn't really performing that well for Manchester United, and people were saying that he needs to stop focusing so much on his outside of football stuff and start focusing more on Manchester United.
Well, it is what it is. Things aren't always going to stay the same as they were when you were a kid and you had those special feelings as a kid when you were watching the team you loved and the players all loved the team.
Yeah.
That ain't it now. You're an adult. Things have moved forward. And now you have to understand that the players play for the players. It's not like they don't want to win or win for the team, but they're out there to make money for themselves.
Question,
their job.
Do Just a quick question: Do you lads think that we will ever again see a spine at Chelsea like we had with Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Cech?
No, because you're not going
No,
to see the players be there that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you don't see players. One, you don't see players that long,
Yeah.
and two, players are too soft nowadays.
Yeah.
Even from that period of time, obviously, football had gone soft in comparison to the 90s and 80s. Football was soft then, but it's even more softer now than it was
Yeah.
back
So you can say like yes, like doctors and the medical part of the game has become better, but also people are like football in general are softer, and people are taking more advantage of how soft the football has become with challenges and stuff.
Society as a whole has become soft. So
Yeah.
there's no,
And
unless you live in a undeveloped country where you have to fight every day, or you actually have to struggle to get what you need. Those people are still hard. The rest of us, soft like marshmallows.
Yeah, I would probably not
Sorry.
make it as a top footballer.
you remember Costa? Costa was a kind of a player who came from the small part of Brazil who used to wrestle his way. So see Costa and then see Morata, the person who replaced him. He flies off on a touch. That's the difference in the physicality. And when you say Lampard, Terry, like what Gareth said, people these days are going with the motto, love your job but not your company. Like love your on-field role but not the club. Because there's always a better pasture to go to, better way to earn. And club's loyalty for the players is only until they get injured. Take, for example, I remember this kid called Sam Hutchinson. He had a career-ending injury, I think ACL or something, and they put him in like a role for the coaching line, and then they tried to bring him back as a defender, but Chelsea fans were booing him. He's a proper Chelsea. He came from the academy. He worked for the academy. He worked for the club. He broke his leg for the club, and the club provided some work for him, and they tried to reintegrate him. What happened next? We are booing him. Shouldn't we support him? It's what happens today. Like players are just like employees. I get a better offer, I move to the next organization, right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's why you remember the previous stream also, we had one person and I clearly mentioned that we are supporting the club, not the player, because player's allegiance to the club is only till the time when he signs the next contract.
The only player I think in Chelsea at the moment that is a player that probably would stay for a long time, I think would probably be Reece James. And maybe even if he was younger, I think Thiago Silva would give most of his career to us.
I don't.
You don't? I think it's worked so well for him since
No,
he's
but
been
I
here. He's got a real
I
love.
do think Thiago Silva's staying here because he's realistically at his age, he just wants to be comfortable and to probably stay at one club until he's finished. I think he has moved on to bigger clubs when he needs to, and sometimes as a player in this day and age, you do need to move on. You can't just stay at one club, and there are times where you do need to move on for the better of your career. I think Reece James could be one, but even Reece James might, if Chelsea continue to not do very well and not win trophies, and teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona start coming in, you're telling me Reece James ain't going to go?
Oh, by all means, of course. If things aren't going well and you think you can better your career, absolutely, you're always going to look for better in your life. But if I think that if we do start to do well again for a long time, I honestly believe that Reece James is the is the kind of player that stick around.
I got something a little off topic. To those people who can't count, a lot of United fans can't count, but they're in Manchester, so what can you say? 7 games. Do you know how many minutes 7 games is? 630. Mikhailo Mudryk has played 262 minutes, which is not even 3.5 games. So y'all need to actually figure out the math. There's 90 minutes in the game. So if you go 7 games without a goal, that means you go 630 minutes.
Yeah.
Just want everybody to do the math.
Jared, I was actually absent for a second because I was actually talking to my brother. Who's about 42, not quite as old as you, but he's up there as well. And he was just telling me, he's like, dude, Mudryk is gonna be so good. Mudryk is gonna be so good. And Jeff, my brother, he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. He's smarter than I am. The guy's a genius. He's like, Mudryk is going to be so good. And Jared's totally right. Everybody's going to go 7 games. Mudryk's been a cameo in a lot of those games. It's not 7 games. It's 200 minutes. All right, the guy has barely played. We have not put him in the best position to be successful. We haven't given him the ball enough. Look what happens when you do give him the ball. He's an outrageous player. He's awesome. It's just we haven't played the ball up. But look, Matt, there's one thing. Go ahead.
I think he's a bit. I think the thing with Mudryk is he's a bit raw, and that's understandable. Again, as I will stress again, for someone that finished their season in November and didn't start playing again until January, which is a long time to then be out of sync with everyone else and get back to it, while also being young, while also coming to a new country you don't speak the language of, and then to play at the highest level. It's going to take time, and you've got to look a little bit raw. But that's why I think with Mudryk, everyone needs to calm down. We're seeing the potential that he has, and it's coming in moments, but it's just going to take a bit of time for him to flourish. And I think we just need to give him that time. It's not like other wingers we've had where we're not seeing any potential whatsoever. And we keep saying that they're this next big thing. We need to keep trusting them. But Mudryk, you can see it. It's just he's a bit raw at the moment. He makes maybe his decision making isn't completely on point, but what 21-year-old has on point decision making?
Nobody.
True.
Yeah, nobody. I was
you should have seen me at 21, although I was married with a kid.
Hey, Jared, I got to ask this question, and I think it was brought up to me yesterday. Coachella, the guy that does perspective, he's one of the most respected people that we
I know Coach.
negotiate with. We love Coach. Jared loves him. Sadiq, Matt, we all love him. He's wonderful. But he someone actually asked him a question yesterday whether or not Jared and I were fighting. Now, there's a point to this, trust me. And I was like, no, I fucking love Jared. Jared and I talk shit. We talk shit. We don't. It's never personal. And at the end of the day, we're good friends. But the problem that I have is that when people are talking about Kai, it is not shit talk the way that Jared and I go back and forth. But at the end of the day, we're going to hug each other and have a beer. The way that people have been talking shit about Kai Havertz, it's personal. And it's way, in my opinion, way out of bounds for a player that is an actually really good player. And I get it. And he went through a bad spell. But Matt, guys, so did everybody. So did Graham. So did us. We as fans, we were terrible. Like, everybody went through a bad spell. And it seemed as though he was the guy that everyone said, that motherfucker, that's the guy I'm going to be mad at. And I'm not going to be fair in my criticism. I'm going to be mean. And that is the difference, because when Jared and I talk shit about each other, dude, end of the day, we're grown-ass men. It's a joke. But with Kai, with this type of shit, it wasn't in jest. It was personal. And I think that everybody needs to take a step back and recognize that this player's he's not leaving. We're not selling this player. He's going to be here a long time.
Yeah. I mean, Carlito and Jared, they're just like an old married couple. They're always arguing every single day. So it's fine. Don't worry about them. They're not getting divorced anytime soon. But while we are on the topic of Mudryk, and I am going to shamelessly plug this because, we have to do this on this channel. We are going to plug, again, the website, and I'm going to get this on full screen. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's not coming on. There you go.
Yeah, dude, we made a shirt of his tattoo on his neck.
Mudryk T, talent isn't enough. Also has the WorldWideChels logo on the back. A very cheap price. You have multiple different colors. You have white. You have black. I think there's a pink in there as well. Well, that's kind of pink. You've got white. You've got black. You've got blue. Along with, of course, all of the other stuff that you have in the WorldWideChels store. We have your hats, your Enzo hats. We have Trust the Family. This is the new family tee. Trust the Family, WorldWideChels. Please do check out the store after this stream, once we've finished, of course, to get all your wonderful Chelsea merch. New merch will be coming out every single day, and we are excited for that to happen. So, yep, guys, everyone get back into it.
Hey, Matt, there was nothing-
Carlito, you still have to give the new design off. I paid a super chat for it and I haven't got the design yet.
Oh. Let's chat afterwards. Matt, but I want to talk about Kai for a second because I do feel as though, look, we're buying Nkunku. It's just going to be like a reinforcement. And obviously, Nkunku is going to start. Where we play him, that's up to Graham, and that's going to be a headache for him, but a really good one because it's better to have too many good players than not enough. But honestly, with Nkunku coming in, and Jared and I talk about this all the time, it's only going to make Kai better. It's only going to make Mudryk better. It's only going to make Felix better. It's only going to make Madueke better. These are good things, but I do still feel as though Kai is not going anywhere. Now, tell me I'm wrong, unless I'm right.
Unless we bring in Victor Osimhen. If Victor Osimhen comes in, then you might see them move him.
I don't think that Chelsea is willing to do that with Kai. That's my point.
The problem I have though is if you get to the point where you bring Osimhen in, you have Felix, you have Nkunku, you've got about 8 or 7. I think it's 7 or 8 attackers you're going to have at this point. So someone else has got to go, at least. If you look at it, I don't think they're going to get rid of Sterling. They're not unless they put Madueke out on loan. He's not going to go. Mudryk's just been signed. And Nkunku, Felix just been signed. So you would look at Havertz as the number one option if Osimhen comes in. That would have to move on. Obviously, if Mount moves on as well.
I wouldn't be surprised that if Sterling got moved.
Interesting.
I would not be surprised in the least bit.
Is this an age thing with Sterling?
I think it's an age. I think he doesn't fit the age group. It's fine to have some veterans.
That's a good point.
But
yeah, but
what does Sterling bring that
you can't have a complete team of youngsters?
What does Sterling bring that nobody else on the pitch can bring?
Level-headedness. Experience for sure. Leadership as well.
You got to have someone in the attack that at least has a bit of experience.
Well, all of our players in the attack have experience.
But
do they though?
Do we have the kind of player who would try to fight for a goal on the dead, like when we are losing, like how Lampard or Drogba used to fight? Do we have that kind of a player? Sorry about that. Do we have a player like that?
Me, man. I don't know. I'm deaf in one ear and can't hear out the other now. We have those players. But what I'm saying is, you don't need a Raheem Sterling in this squad. Where you have a Nkunku, a João Felix, a Kai Havertz, a Mateo Mudryk, and a Madueke.
Yeah.
Why do we need Raheem Sterling? What is at this point in his career and what he's shown us or lack thereof this year? Why you say we have to keep him? Other than the English quota.
He's been one of our best attackers this season.
Yeah, you say lack thereof. He's our top goal scorer this season.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, but then if you're comparing to, I would if I had the choice of getting rid of Kai Havertz or getting rid of Raheem Sterling, I'd rather get rid of Kai Havertz.
Oh, bad take. Oh
no, because you have. I'd say what space is there for Kai Havertz if you've got Felix and Nkunku?
Play them together.
You can't play all three together.
Of course you can.
They're all way too similar. They are all way too similar.
Matt, there is always
Carlito.
You can play a 4-2-4. You can play 4-2-3-1 with João Felix attacking mid. Come on, brother. There's always a way. Don't tell me there's not, dog. There's always a way.
No.
But see, you can also play Kai off the right if you want a left footer there.
Yeah, dude. By the way, Kai played off the right the last 2 games.
Yeah. So you can play Kai off the right.
You guys
can play.
He can't play wing too. Of course
You can play Nkunku and Felix either at 10 and center forward, and you can play Mudryk or whoever off the left if you want to. So.
Is this FIFA or something? Does players just automatically decline as soon as they hit 30 or something?
No, I don't think that. First of all, Raheem Sterling hasn't been his great form has been a few years now, right? 2 or 3 years when he was in his best. So we've already seen his lack of being able to carry the ball. Really, all he has is finishing in the box. And he has the Timo gene. We've seen it for England. We've seen it for Man City, where he's right in front of the goal and he pulls a Mo Salah, and the damn thing doesn't even go on target. So it's not like he is a devastating attacker that has been in form, and the only thing that's held him back is injuries. He's been struggling like the rest of the team. He hasn't raised the level of anybody around him. If you get him the ball in the box, yes, he will score goals. But are you going to look at more complete players right at this point and say, no, we've got a guy who can finish in the box? Or do you want to look at somebody who can carry the ball, set up other players, and also finish in the box?
But
that's just my point.
Who is that person who can also finish, apart from, I'd say, Felix, maybe, and Nkunku?
Well,
I don't see it from anyone else at the moment.
No. That's a fair point. But you bought Mudryk and Mudryk because you saw that in them.
Right? I don't see Madueke a big finisher.
I think
even in his PSV days. I see the potential of him taking on a man and driving with the ball. I don't see and it was the first thing I noticed with Madueke when he played. It was great until he got to that shot and he would mess up the shot. But that is because he's young, and that will come as he gets older. But I think to rely on a lot of kids, because I know Felix does have experience, fair enough. But Nkunku, as well as he's played a couple of years, he's still young, he's still a kid, effectively. Mudryk and Madueke are babies in terms of the game.
He's older than Felix.
But Madueke and Mudryk are babies in terms of this game. So I think you do need that experienced head. And I think for people saying that Sterling is nearly 30, that means we have to get rid of him. I don't think that's a wise take. I would just personally, I don't, apart from these last 2 games, and I think these last 2 games are coming in a bit of a bias with Kai Havertz. I mean, 3 or 4 weeks ago, everyone wanted Kai Havertz out. Now these 2 games are coming in.
Don't put me in that category.
Oh no, I know Carlito will die on the stone with Havertz. Will die on his grave with Havertz. But generally, the fan base has gone. And multiple people in here that are now saying Sterling, bad take. We're saying Kai Havertz needed to go. But now they're changing their mind just because of these 2 games. Which he has played very well in these 2 games. I'm not going to deny that. But that needs to continue. But I from what I've seen of Kai Havertz, I don't have the faith in him that he can do that in a consistent period of time.
Okay.
I have seen that. From Raheem Sterling.
Go ahead, Shanat.
So one thing which I wanted to make it pretty darn clear, whenever Kai Havertz is behind someone or he's being like a proper 10 marauding the midfield, I could see him being so slick he could just get the goals out. But when he is a proper number 9, he's failing over there because I could see that he's flying off. The physicality is not there. We need a proper number 9. He flourishes when there was a Timo Werner who was doing the runs, who was trying to get the defenders out. I know people over here would take me on for Timo, but I'm just saying that this is the guy who is not physical, that he could play a striker, and we are trying to make him a striker. He's a good midfielder. He's a good attacking midfielder, but I don't see him as a striker yet.
No, you're fair. And look, my ideal player to play for Chelsea is Roberto Firmino when he was 26 years old. For me, that is like the perfect player for Chelsea. But he's old. And by the way, if he's free, I would still sign Roberto Firmino.
I think he wants out of England.
Dude, yeah, he probably does. But by the way, yeah, if he was 26, I would sign him right now. But the one player I do want to bring up, and sure enough, very good point, by the way. Kai is he's too skinny. He's 6'4". He's not small, but he's very skinny. And I get it. But he's also very good
he's
player.
like Tammy in a way. Tammy was the same.
Yeah, but he's
Really
so
skinny.
much better than Tammy Abraham. The one
He's
player
wiry.
No, but I mean in build. I'm talking about build.
That's fair
Both
enough.
of
The
them
one
cool,
player I
but
want to talk
very
about,
skinny.
which is very, very crucial to what we did today and what we're going to do moving forward, is my favorite footballer, and is a player that is linked to either stay or go. And that is the guy that won the man of the match today, and that's Mateo Kovacic. For me, he's essential. He's one of the most unique midfielders and one of the best midfielders in Europe. I think that we should, at all costs, keep him. Jared, I know that you have differing opinions, but you cannot deny that he is a very good player.
Oh, I've never denied that. He leaves you always wanting more. Not today, of course, he scored, but there's always, you put his whole Chelsea career together, and there's more times that, oh, you didn't make that pass, or oh, you should have scored there, than oh shit, he scored, or oh shit, he made the pass. I never had a problem with Kovacic as being a bad player. He's never been a
maybe
bad
more
player.
so the contract. Maybe more so the contract.
Not even with the contract.
If I misspoke, my apologies.
Not even with a contract. Not even worried about that. It's just, dude, I need more. It's like leaving me with blue balls all the time. It's like, but when he finishes, dude, it's something spectacular because he can't score a normal goal. He's one of those dudes who couldn't hit water from a boat unless it's like hugely difficult, and then it makes it look easy. Yeah. I don't know what it is. He must take karate or kung fu because he loves those jumping kicks.
Mm.
So maybe he's got a career in MMA after this.
But would you keep him
if he wants to stay? I mean,
I think we should.
That is the big question with Copper, is if he wants to stay, because there was the rumors that he may not be completely happy with Potter, and if he isn't willing to stay, and I think again he's a player that I think you can get a very good price for. Yeah, I'd be happy to let him go at the same time, as long as you get. I mean, you've got Enzo there, and if you then bring in that defensive midfielder that Jesters was talking about, that Caicedo-like player, that Tchouaméni type player, I wouldn't mind then letting Kovacic go.
You know that we're linked with a guy named Manu Kone?
Yes.
Is that Mönchengladbach, Jared?
It is.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's actually one that's been kind of outright saying he wants to go to Chelsea.
It might be. I don't know much about Kone. I don't watch much of Mönchengladbach.
No, I can't say either. By the way, I can't.
But I'm being bellowed at, so I might have to bounce.
We'll be done in like 5 minutes anyway. It's all good, bro.
Okay. You good about 1 o'clock Mormon time today for the barbecue?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
1 o'clock more. That'd be 2 o'clock my time.
Yeah,
which is 8 o'clock.
Hey,
London.
get that Paisan, Steven. We need to bring him on. I love that dude. Yeah, Lazio.
No worries. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see y'all at 8 o'clock London time on Uncle Jester's FC.
Yeah, barbecue.
Barbecue
you are
time.
all welcome. Sure not, Alfred. Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome. Come on down and get you a good piece of barbecue.
Shit. You want to talk some shit? This is the place to do it. So Matt,
later, brothers.
See you, buddy. Thanks, Jared. Hey, Alfred, Matt. Sure not. I mean, look. I want to put a proper and appropriate bow on this by saying we had to win, and I don't agree with Graham taking the foot off the gas there for that 10-minute stretch, around like 50 to 60 minute. I don't agree with that, because if it was my team, I would say bury these boys, bury them 6 feet under, press, step on their neck, like Jared would say, press, absolutely dominate the ball and do whatever you can to get your third and fourth goal. Graham did not do that. I don't know why he didn't do that, but other than that, I thought his subs were good, and I thought that the team's spirit was there because towards the end, it was dominant. I know they had 10 men, I get it, but at the same time, before they even had that 10-man red card, we looked good and we looked imposing. And fuck, man, we needed it. I'm just gonna be a human being and say we fucking needed it, man.
Yeah, I think we were good. I think we were fine. I don't have a problem with today. I understand that we still there are still improvements to be made, but I think we've got, as I was looking at in terms of our running, we have got games to do that. I mean, we've got Everton obviously next Saturday at 5:30 at home, so that should be a game we should again look to get 3 points, and then after that, we should after the international break, which is typical of an international break coming in, but there you go. But when we come back from the international break, we've got Villa at home. So again, that should be a game that we should be winning easily. And then you go into midweek game against Liverpool, which could be hard, could be good, depending on what Liverpool turns up. And then that's when it starts getting a bit harder. After that, you got Wolves away, Brighton at home, United away, Brentford at home, Arsenal away. Then you got Bournemouth and not Forest before.
Did you say Brighton at home?
Yeah, Brighton at home.
Okay, I will mark that on my calendar.
And then you've got the final 2 games is a bit of a tough one for us. It's Man City away, and then Newcastle at home on the final day, which could be a big top 4 thing if we do somehow reach back into it.
Arsenal is right towards the end as well for us.
It is in between. It's the 29th of April. It's in between.
By the way,
the Bournemouth
I'm calling
and the Forest
this now.
match.
I don't do predictions. We're gonna bang Arsenal. We're gonna fuck them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I think leading into that kind of tough kind of Wolves, Brighton, and then getting into the big teams kind of area, I think we do need to have a good run going into that to build up slowly, and then at them games we can just see what we've got, and if we've got what we're made of, I think we can potentially fight for top 4. We might peter out at that point. If we do, it is what it is, and we can just regroup in pre-season and go again.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while that we will be the team. If Arsenal haven't choked enough by then to drop the Premier League, we will be the one that costs them. And it's going to be glorious.
I love when Alfred gets mean because he's such a nice guy.
But what the one thing that's annoying me before we go, this is the one thing that's annoying me at the moment. I'm seeing on Twitter. Every man, woman, and a dog was moaning saying, "Oh, all we need is just a bloody result. We just need to get the results." Now we're getting the results. Everyone's moaning that we're not playing like prime Barcelona.
Of course.
Seriously, these Potter out people need to actually just grow some fucking brain cells, please.
Matt, that never ends. When we were in Roman era, when we were winning titles, we were like, we should give manager time to establish his play, to establish the process. And when we brought in Potter, it was like, this guy is not winning. We don't want him. Potter out. And then when he won 3 games in a row, they'll be like, oh, but this is not the way which we should win. We should be pulverizing them, like finishing them off.
Did you just say potterizing them?
I said pulverizing them. I think you heard it wrong. I said pulverizing them, but yeah.
But it would be great if you did say that. Anyway.
Okay.
I'll look at that. Go ahead, Sinath, because we're gonna tie this one out as soon as you're done. Because I have one more thing to say, and Matt, put the fucking TikTok camera on, clip this because this is a 2-minute segment that you are gonna want to put on Twitter.
Okay, so I'll just wrap it up quickly. I just want to say that you can't have everything in this world. You have to decide on one thing and stick to that. If you want to give the manager the time, give him the time. Let us go through hell. Let us, get burnt in the fire of baptism, like whatever you call that. But let us go through it and come out and then decide whether did we have a good season or not, and evaluate like how a proper organization does. Evaluate at the end of the year, end of the season, and then decide whether do we want to go through it again or not. Instead of just calling out names, calling out players, calling out manager, that ain't good. That is causing more chaos and toxicity, guys. That's
Well,
all
shut
I
up.
would say.
Shut up. Allow me to be toxic for just one more minute.
Ouch.
And Shrinath, thank you for those kind words, by the way. As someone that, when he was 27, went through a very dark period, and then I pulled myself out of it and became the man I am today. Okay, so there is light at the end of the tunnel if you can go through shit. You can be Andy Dufresne and crawl through a river of shit. There is rain, and there is absolution, and there's a galvanizing force of a better life if you can handle it. If you can't, okay, but that's some people can't. Here's my point, Matt, and this is one I want to make very exponentially clear. Johnny Minerals and all the people like him, okay, they are fans of players. They are not fans of this team. I am a fan of this team. If a player plays poorly, I will say that the player played poorly. If Kai Havertz had a bad game today, I would say Kai Havertz had a bad game today. Kai Havertz is one of my favorite players. If he had a bad game today, I would say he had a bad game today. Yeah, I keep it moving because I'm just a rational human being. Despite my passionate demeanor, I'm rational. But I will say this. It is not a surprise. It is not a surprise that we have won these games without Mason Mount. I don't think that Mason Mount is a bad player. I just don't think Mason Mount is a good player. I think Mason Mount is just another guy. He's a handsome English kid, and that's it. People want to prop him up as the next Frank Lampard. Motherfucker, did you watch Frank Lampard? Did you watch Frank Lampard? Do you know how much of a bastard Frank Lampard was? Do you realize how good Frank Lampard was? Frank Lampard reinvented that position. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the Premier League. He's one of the greatest players in the history of football. Mason Mount is not Frank Lampard. Stop putting that on Mount because he is not Frank Lampard. But my point is this. Mason Mount is just a guy. He's not a bad player. He's all right. He's all right. But if we can con someone into paying 50, 60, 70 mil for him, we do it right now because we are a better team without him. We are a better team without him. Go ahead, Alfred.
I just wanted to add to what you were saying about Lampard is our young academy product, Sindra, told me something last night that was very interesting because after our stream, after our win, we actually ended up talking for another hour after the stream. He's a great man to talk to. But
I love Sindra, by the way. He's so awesome. I love him. He's so young,
yes.
but I love him, man. I just want to like cultivate him and make him grow, like a flower. He's so good, man. I love that guy.
He is incredibly knowledgeable and just so humble and great to listen to for such a young guy. He is absolutely amazing. Definitely.
Yeah. Normally, these Generation Zs, you'd expect them to come in shouting and screaming, but Sindra is very calm. I love it.
Yeah.
Big up, massive big up to Sindra. Before we do finish, and of course, a massive big up to Renaf, always coming onto the channel, supporting the channel. Big up to Alfred, always being Mr. Positivity, whether it's we're in our highs or our absolute lows, and of course, Carlito for bringing the drama as usual. And of course,
it's what I do, dude. I'm an entertainer.
Just quickly, what I wanted to say about Lampard, what Sindra told me was that something that he added something to what I already knew, which is that for a midfielder, he actually had more goals in the Premier League than a lot of strikers, including, would you believe, Thierry Henry. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and again, another player that is one of the top five, along with Lampard, top five greatest players in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, name a midfielder that's all-time top goal scorer for their club.
No one.
Right.
It doesn't exist, Matt. That's why I said he reinvented the position. It doesn't exist.
And not just club, Premier League history.
But I don't think any midfielder touches Lampard.
No one.
That's why when I say when you talk about the Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard debate, no one for me touches Lampard. No centre attacking midfielder will ever touch Lampard again.
No, never.
Yeah.
Never, because it wasn't just that. it was that he also set people up. You remember that Ramirez goal, that outrageous like no looker, like chop pass that he went to Ramirez, and Ramirez chipped Valdez. Like, he didn't just have goals. Lampard also was creative. Like, guys, this was an irrepressible player. And to put Mount in that category, it's irresponsible, and it's also just naive.
It's just lazy. I just think it's lazy. I hate comparisons to people. I think a player is their own player. Like when people keep saying Dacia Fofana is the next Didier Drogba just because he's Ivorian and he's a striker. No, David Dacia Fofana is David Dacia Fofana. He is his own Fofana. He's not anyone else.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be compared. Like when people say Mudryk is the next Neymar, Mudryk put it perfectly. He doesn't want to be the next Neymar. He wants to be the next Mudryk. That's it.
Well, he wants to be the only Mudryk.
Yeah, he wants to be the Mudryk.
Yeah. No, I was actually guilty of saying that, by the way.
It is what it is. But anyway,
no. My point is that Mudryk is a dangerous player. Neymar, in 2015, Neymar was the most dangerous player in the world. And my point is that I feel as though Mudryk eventually will become an incredible player.
Yeah, you can say
he will score the winner against Arsenal. Sorry, Matt, just had to throw that.
Oh
in.
yeah. Alfred,
Molina
I'll put a bet on it, baby. Molina, I love you, darling. You're the best. But I will eat your dinner. I will snatch it away from you and say, give me that burger. Because you ain't eating shit that day, sweetheart. Nada. Nothing. Nilch. Zero. We're going to smoke your fools.
We are. And I'm going to leave it on that note because I do need to go. And we have been waffling on for a little bit. But thank you to everyone that has tuned in. 76 people still tuning in to this day. I think we hit 100 likes. I haven't checked in the last 10 minutes, but I think we have. So if we have, great. If we haven't, make sure you smash it before we finish. But thank you to Alfred. Thank you to Serena. Thank you to Carlito. This is WorldWideChels. We've got 3 wins in a row, baby. Signing out.
Come on.
Signing out on